Hi there. So this video is a very quick message about how to generate your own leads using ZAP, CBX and social media, as well as other media outputs there, such as Google and Bing and Yahoo. So I'm going to dive straight in. This is not a sales pitch, okay? I work for Coldwell Banker Paradise, and I'm doing this to help with the 2020 vision and the 2020 goals that Coldwell Banker has, and Realty as a whole. I'm an absolute proponent of ZAP, CBX, and how to glue the two together to make money. So I will not be using a sales funnel at the end. I'm not going to have an offer. I'm not going to say buy now or get this free this or whatever. It's literally going to be how to do it. It's going to be very fast, very quick. You can watch the video a few times over if you wish. So diving straight in, ZAP is a CRM. CBX is a data information tool that allows you to do two things. One, to persuade people to list with you, because it's really one of the best listing presentation tools out there. It's a listing experience. And the second thing that CBX is a mine of information about who is in your market, who is likely to buy, who is likely to sell, and who matches the profile of the person who's going to buy your target property, the one that you're trying to list. So how do we use all this together? Because it's kind of overwhelming. You know, you open up ZAP and you go, right, okay, I've not got any leads today. Okay, all right, I've got a few. I'll work those. So this is my personal ZAP. There's 10,800 contacts in here. As you can see, I've got some red ones. I thought I'd use this quick opportunity to show you how to get yourself back compliant really quickly, and then we're going to move on. So you go to your contacts, and I'm looking for buyers who are out of compliance status that will have occurred recently. So you just click on See More Filters. I'll put here out of compliance. I want to make sure that I'm the primary agent on those leads, because otherwise there's going to be no point in me diving in trying to send them an email, because it won't send them one. I want to send an email to the people I can send it to. So right now I've got 80 leads that need attention, okay, and I'm just going to make sure I do. They're all on a follow-up plan. It's just that my follow-up plan stopped, so I intentionally put myself out of compliance, and then it gives me the opportunity to pop in and send a message to them directly. So we can do this really quickly. You just go on to select the clients. So there's 80 of them. Select bulk email. Go on to email from the bulk tool there. I've written my own emails, which I kind of like some of them. Some of them I'm always trying to improve them. So I'm going to put my company here. And I like this one. It works pretty well, which is, what are your real estate needs? It's just really simple. It's just asking them. And what we do is we give them a free home valuation, and that identifies the sellers in those buyer leads. So I'm going to review the contacts, get this done. These are the people that have opted out, 9 of them. Sorry about that, guys. 71 here want to receive email from me. Click that, and then I can get back to work. Okay, so I'm now nice and green. So what are we talking about? Well, how are we going to do this? How are we going to make this thing produce leads? Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you what I've done. And I'm going to go back over a year, kind of since we've been doing this. So using these tools, I've brought in around about half of these leads. So it's about 25,000. We've got 46,000 lead registrations altogether, but 25,000 of those are kind of, after 6 months, are still bringing us business opportunities. So showing requests, we've had 1,600, and requests for more info, that's the key, 21,927. That's 21,927 hands up saying, I need an agent. What more could you ask for? It's fantastic. So going back to contacts, this is something I want to point out because we miss it all the time. Leads are important. You've got to work them within 6 seconds of receiving the lead. You have to jump on it, make that phone call, make that Facebook Messenger contact, send them a text, whatever it may be, but get hold of the client, because somebody else is trying to do that at the same time. This part of your dashboard should be quiet. In other words, if you've got loads of tasks in here, it means that you've missed doing those tasks. So make sure that your tasks are always done. Your follow-ups are important, but if you've got tasks, that's somebody asking you for information about a property or a showing request or contacting an agent directly. Make sure that you do that, because the work I'm going to show you now, this is where it's going to show up. it's going to show up in your tasks. So let's leap out of here and dive straight into the CBX presentation. CBX is a great tool. In fact, it's essential. And I'm going to let you know something now that probably nobody knows. I work very closely with Facebook, and Facebook are making some changes, and it's going to be very much in our favour at Coldwell Banker. That's all I'm going to say on it. We're going to be right at the cutting edge. So here's the good news. We have got the demographic information that we need to build the audience to make sure that when you spend money on a Facebook advertisement, you reach everybody who is likely to buy that home based on the CBX analysis of that property, its location, the buyer types that buy in that area, where they're coming from, the demographics of those people, where they're coming from, and now most importantly, their propensity to actually move. So we used to have just the buyer match profile down here. We now have another one, which is here, 10.78%. So that's telling me in the next 12 months, nearly 11% of the people in this zip code are actually going to buy another house. So that's pretty good. If it was 2%, it's all right. 10% is very good. So this particular analysis that I run, and I did it prior to making the video just to save time, I've got a target property on the East Coast near the Space Coast area here where the Kennedy Space Center is. It's telling me that local people are not going to buy my house. The likelihood of this green here, I mean, they might, but the dark greens here are telling me that more people are likely to buy the house who are there and down here. And we know this to be fact because we actually analyse our sales and we look where the buyer came from, and these things do correlate very tightly. So the most likely place that people are going to come from is very near to the property, quite far away at 50 miles here on the East Coast. They're going to travel from the east side of Florida and come to the East Coast. But what's this big cluster of people? Well, in North Miami, Fort Lauderdale, lots of people are selling their homes and moving here because SpaceX are here, NASA and all the other jobs and job creators, and the aerospace industry, and we make all sorts of great stuff down here on the Space Coast. These people want to work. They're highly educated, earning around about 100,000 a year, and they want to get into this environment, so they're selling. So that's why we've got the propensity to sell down there. Great for getting listings if you're an agent in that area. But for me right now, I want to drag them up here and buy this house. So to get the actual demographics, we've got to zoom in, and I made this one earlier. So I'm clicking on this zip code here because it's got a nice match, 33019. Over on the left hand side of the screen, it's going to tell me the neighborhood profile where I am, the property up north. It's then going to tell me the buyer profile. Okay, so the median age of these residents is 51, whereas in my target property it's 58. So these are people who are a little younger. Now that's probably a good thing, because if people are selling a home in an area, they're generally going to sell it to someone who's like them, but 10 years younger. That seems to be kind of a, you know, I've been doing real estate for 20 odd years, and I just noticed there's that trend. So I also know they've got a bachelor's degree. I also know that a lot of them have children. I know that there's a big number of them are family homes. The average size of the family is around about 3, and I also know that they're earning 10,000 a year more down here, and they want to move up north for the new jobs, and that's bringing our average household income in the north up as all these new jobs have been created in Brevard with the technology. So I know who to target. Now this might surprise you. Okay, so in 33019, which is Hollywood, Florida, the most popular website that people go to is not google.com and it's not Amazon. It is in fact Facebook. So we have a big likelihood of people using Facebook. So that's going to tell me that rather than running an ads campaign on Google, I might do a little one, or posting it out there in different strategies, I'm going to concentrate on Facebook and consequently on Instagram as well. So Facebook is kind of like my go-to place to find leads. People say, oh, you know, they're junk leads, they're internet leads, do they really work? Yes, they do. We've generated thousands of them. Yes, they convert. Yes, they make you money. It's how you do it, and I'm going to show you. So here's the gem blue. I hope that the 2020 goals are met. We've got, what, 1.5 years? Got to get there. So I'm going to show you how to match the audiences. and a couple of tech tips as well. So in Ads Manager, never, ever, ever, ever do a Facebook boost. Never. Do not use your cell phone app here to do a Facebook boost, ever. Most of the tools and most of the features are not available, even on the improved version of the app. So put that to one side, open up your desktop and your laptop, and do your CBX presentation, find out where that buyer is, and then what we're going to do is we're going to find out if they're going to sell a home and get a listing. If not, we're going to get a referral on it. Because if that buyer down there in Fort Lauderdale is thinking of listing, okay, so I want to be able to buy the house I'm selling, I'm going to refer him into the relocation department and get some, reward for doing that. I'm also going to get paid, that little bit more money by giving that relocation referral. So this is a great way, because the first thing that I ask every lead is, have you got a house to sell? How long has your home been on the market? I don't ask them if you're qualified. I don't say you're pre-approved for a mortgage. It's kind of irrelevant if they haven't sold the house. What I'm looking for is there a listing? Because the listings are really the goal. So find out if there's a listing. Then if there is a listing, get the listing if it's not already been listed. If they've sold the home, great, let's go into qualification. Let's find out if they're a cash buyer, have they got proof of funds, are we using a trust, have we got the right people involved to make an offer, all that good stuff. So, building the audience. So, there are different intents, okay? It's called the objective of your campaign. With this campaign, I'm choosing traffic. Okay, now this isn't a Facebook tutorial, I'm trying to keep it under 15 minutes. I'm choosing traffic because I want people to go to my ZAP site, okay? So that's why I choose that. I don't want to engage with people right now. I don't want clicks and likes. I don't want lovey hearts and all that stuff. I want clicks on my link to go to my ZAP site, because that's where I'm going to capture them as a lead. So traffic is the objective. The next part down here is the audience. So I've already pre-built this one, and what I've done is I started off with 2.1 million people. Well, with the best will in the world with my budget, I can't pay Facebook to show an ad to 2.1 million people, and I would have to do that to ensure I find the buyer. So I've got to narrow down and distill into the finest possible piece of data everybody that's likely to buy this home, and eliminate the people that are kind of noise. Really bring the music out of the background. So the way you do that is by targeting the audience, and you match it to the fields that are over there in CBX, but it's not the same language. So what you've got to do is you've got to learn Facebook language, and the best way of doing that is if you go online and you search for a document that describes Facebook terminology, and what that is it's basically it's interests that people have, their demographics and their behaviors. So interests might be that they like going on realtor.com. Their demographics might be that they are 35 to 40 years old, and the behavior is that they're likely to move house. So there's lots of different language that Facebook uses, and it's kind of soft language, whereas the CBX presentation is giving you more raw data. So you can match them up very easily. So remember, I'm looking for somebody around 50 with a bachelor's degree who earns $100,000, who is living in this area and is likely to move house and really enjoys looking at Facebook. So that's what we do. So here I've got the 3 areas that it identified, which was Hollywood, Florida, Melbourne Beach, 10 miles into the target property, and then 26 miles around Orlando International Airport, where there's another cluster of buyers. I've gone for an age group of 48 plus. I'm appealing to a wide demographic, so I'm looking for men and women. I've put in college grads. I've put in the income up to 100,000. I've put that they're interested in Realtor and Zillow. I've also said that they must match likely to move. I've also said that they must match recent visits to Zillow. So I've then put additionally they must match Realtor. And what that means is I've got this wide audience of 2.1 million people who fit the first criteria, then I bring it down to a couple of 100,000, and then I bring it down again, honing in and focusing in using the demographics from CBX. That then tells me I've only got 32,000 people I need to tap on the shoulder and say, look at this house. I can now afford to do that, because to reach 32,000 people is going to cost me maybe a couple $100. I might get 100 leads. Well, $2 a lead. Okay, so that isn't the real cost though, because you've got to pay for the software, you've got to pay for time and photography, and you know. But anyway, the raw cost of actual click to converted lead. So I've got my audience built. I'm then going to decide where am I going to place this? Where do I want people to see it? So most people just go for automatic and then miss some of the actual important places. So it's nice to have the news feed. Obviously, that's where you want to place a house so someone sees it. The ad itself, I'm going to show you an ad that was extremely successful, and it's the simplest ad. Don't overcomplicate it. Simplicity matters because you've got literally milliseconds to grab the attention as somebody is on their Facebook doing this. Okay? Now, I don't know if it's an urban myth, but people do this every day on Facebook. They do the scrolling, and apparently if you measure the 6 inches here that we do the scroll, most people actually scroll down Facebook for a length that's similar to the height of the Statue of Liberty. Insane. Doing this all day long. So anyway, they're doing this. We've got to stop them in the tracks. Then we've got to give them information that gets straight into the brain without them having to read it. Very few words. Okay. Then we need a picture that's extremely attractive. And obviously your product needs to be well, you know, the curb appeal, the price, all that stuff's got to be right. But don't make a big fantastic ad with loads of videos and sliding pictures and all this. You know what? They'll look at it and decide they don't like the house. Well, we don't want that. We want them to look at it, click on it, because we know they're interested in houses, and then we'll find them the right property. So what we want to do is engage and convert in milliseconds. So I'm going to cover that in 1 second in the actual ad. So we want it to appear everywhere that we can. So we're going to go in Instagram. Instagram's kind of the hot place right now. A little bit to do with the Facebook data debacle that took place with those darn British people gathering data using those apps. So, you know, people got a kind of downer on Facebook, but I haven't noticed any decrease whatsoever in lead generation or an increase in ad spend. So the reality is, for me, in my world, it's all good. But Instagram is a good place to focus because Instagram is a smaller audience, but they're higher engagers. They're more likely to take action on your ad. So include Instagram. Then you need the audience network, which is where it goes off Facebook and into other websites and shows out there, you know, in-stream videos, this type of thing. So moving on, budget, you put what you like, but in this particular case, I don't need to spend a fortune on it. I'm going to put a $25 budget, and I'm going to run this for enough days to reach the 32,000 people. Okay. Now I've got a dummy company set up here because I didn't really want to put too much information out there online. And this is where you would put the URL to the property itself. Now here's an absolute magic tip. Okay, going back to ZAP. All right. You may have noticed sometimes when you post a ZAP link, it doesn't actually send you the lead. Well, we've fixed that. Like when I say we, Coldwell Banker. So over here, I'm going to go to my Coldwell Banker ZAP site. I'm going to randomly pick a property just to use this as an example. I'm trying to speed up to get this done. So I'm going to pick 32951, which is one of our local zip codes. I'm going to search for something nice. Okay. So let's have a look what we've got. It's the Coldwell Banker listings, that'll do. So Sanibel Way here. So we take that link. I want to get the lead. Okay, I want to get the leads. Obviously, if I use that link, I'm not going to get the leads because it's going to take that to a competitor company or a competitor agent, and I won't get the lead because the programming is not in this URL. So how you fix that is you go into your ZAP, click Add, click New Shareable Link, click Paste, put the link in there, get link. It converts it to a link that now has my information, which basically says referred by agent equals peter.hopkins@coldwellbanker.com. Take that link and put that into your Facebook. Okay, so we're back into the campaign. The website URL is here, so I'm going to paste that one. That means now when this gets clicked, it's going to actually come up with the right result. Okay, now I do have a little error coming up here. Link field is required. It's just the way I've got this thing running. So I'm going to use the Learn More button. I like the Learn More button here. It's pretty important. The reason that Learn More is better, I wish they had like View Property or something nice like that right there. So I've just fixed that link. If you really want to check it's working, you just go Preview URL and make sure that it goes to your ZAP page and your photograph appears next to the house that you're advertising. I wouldn't advertise this house having looked at it, but let's move on from that. So Learn More is the desired button. If they had View Homes or something, it'd be better, but they don't. They have Sign Up, Shop Now, Subscribe, Send a Message. So Learn More is about the closest we can get. So that's the ad. Okay, it's very simple, and that's how we create an audience, and then we can click that and spend the money. Okay, so going back now to what does a good ad look like. Here's one. I'm using this example because this is real. This worked. Okay, this ad we put out on Sunday night, and by Monday it had over 12,000 people reached. 13,338. The ad's now turned off, and we got 1,561 clicks that landed on our ZAP site, and from there we got lead registrations, and plenty of them. So this way of actually driving business into your ZAP site is really key, because it's going to make your ZAP site's SEO work so much better if you take mass audiences off Facebook, you know, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people at a time for a few dollars. Put them into your ZAP site. There's two things happening. One is your page is getting seasoned at Facebook, because Facebook says, well, clearly you've got something of interest. You've got good content. 13,000 people saw this, and more than 10% of them clicked it. And that means the engagement's high. If you've got high engagement, your click cost goes down. The click cost for this was 6 cents. 6 cents to get that visitor to my target landing page. I mean, I'd like to get it for 3 cents, but 6 cents is very, very low cost. So if you think about it, if you need to get 20 people to fill out the inquiry form and become a lead, then you will have spent $1.20 to get that lead. It's pretty good. So that about wraps it up. Keep your ad very simple, because remember, they're scrolling through the feed, they want to see a nice house. It says Vero Beach, 280,000, new listing, click Learn More. Alright, I'll click Learn More. Got the address on, legally we want the address on, legally we want the MLS number on. We also want our website to be prominently displayed there, and we also have our company logo and our name, all for compliance reasons, as much as we want to obviously spread the word about how brilliant Coldwell Banker Paradise is. Which incidentally is pretty brilliant. We actually got the top 500 real trends for sites in 2018, so congratulations to all the fellow agents and people who work at the company. Did a great job. So I hope that helps you. ZAP, CBX, okay, the magic is coming tomorrow, Wednesday the 9th, where the Facebook Pixel is going to be available, and you can install that in your ZAP site. I'm going to post something later about that, but that means we're going to be able to take these thousands of people, and even if they don't register, we're going to know who they are and know that they've been on our site, and we're going to then be able to say, okay, well, let's send them some more information about properties they may like, because the Facebook Pixel is going to record and notify us about who is actually visiting our ZAP site. It's phenomenal. We've got that coming. I believe it's coming out tomorrow night on the 9th, so it's probably going to be around from Thursday morning, but it's going to be a fantastic opportunity. So thank you for your time. Like I say, not selling you anything. There's nothing to click, there's nothing to download, there's no number to call. Just enjoy, generate lots of leads, and let's get those 2020 goals met as a big team. So go Coldwell Banker. Love it. Thank you.